everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today is our second part of NetFlow Analyzer training, and I thank you all for attending it. My name is Piyushri, and I'll be the presenter for today. I hope you have attended our first session on getting the initial settings right, where we have discussed on the configurations and the setting part of NetFlow Analyzer, along with monitoring the traffic details in the inventory tab. Today's presentation is continuation of it, and I'll be discussing more on how you can start troubleshooting your bandwidth issues with the help of NetFlow Analyzer. If you haven't attended our first session, you can watch it from our YouTube channel or visit our NetFlow Analyzer training page to know more on the FAQs for the session. Before starting, I'd like to confirm if you can hear me well and can see the presentation. Please confirm by commenting yes in the chat panel. Talking about me, I'm a part of NetFlow Analyzer team and I take care of all the marketing activities for the product. I also involve in bringing new enhancements and features for the product to improve its usability. Before starting the presentation, I'd like to remind you a couple of things. We have a recorded version of this webinar and will send it via email. You can also check it from our YouTube channel and share it with your colleagues. Along with me, I have my technical team to answer all your questions. So if you have any doubts during the presentation, you can use the GoToWebinar question panel and raise your questions. So the topic for today's presentation is diagnosing and troubleshooting traffic issues faster. In today's scenario, troubleshooting any network issue is time-consuming and it requires involvement of multiple tools. At the same time, network admins need to fix this issue before it gets escalated and cause serious damage. We will discuss on various troubleshooting options available in NetFlow Analyzer and we'll see how you can take control of all the issues happening in your network and prevent any network outage. So the agenda for today's presentation is I'll explain the importance of data storage for monitoring and reporting. We will also see how you can change storage settings for raw and aggregated data. The next topic is we will see how you can create customized dashboards based on your network type. We'll also see how you can customize widgets and create your knock screens. The next topic is we will see what are the reporting options available in NetFlow Analyzer and how you can create detailed reports and customize it as per your monitoring needs. The next topic is how to troubleshoot your network issues and make best use of forensics in NetFlow Analyzer. The next topic is traffic shaping, where we will see how to control your bandwidth usage and configure your service policies. In this, we will see the traffic usage trend for all the interfaces with the help of capacity planning and bill your customers with the help of billing feature. So, what are the major concerns that comes to your mind when you have to think of troubleshooting an issue in your network? These are some of the questions which I can think of. The first is how deep I can go into my traffic details. This will answer the question as how long data is stored in my network for troubleshooting. The next question is how do I identify potential issues early, which will help me to prevent my network from any outage and monitor it proactively. How do I also get alerted for any issue in my network? The next major concern is how do I find the root cause of any issue in the network and take actions based on it? Once I'm able to diagnose the issue, there comes the most important part. That is, how do I resolve the issue within a particular time period and take control of all my network? Apart from this, you also need to address how to optimize your bandwidth usage and check if my bandwidth is reaching its capacity. Also, I have to know if I'm being overcharged by my ISP. So all these questions you need to address and we'll see how you can do it with the help of NetFlow Analyzer. So the first thing is determine how long you can store the flow data and how granular you want to analyze the data for troubleshooting. In NetFlow Analyzer, we have an option to customize your traffic storage settings based on your granularity requirement. NetFlow Analyzer stores three types of data. The first is raw data, aggregated data, and 1-minute data. Raw data stores each and every information of your flow that has been exported from the interfaces. Aggregate data is used to view all the traffic data for more than 24 hours along with applications and the top 100 conversations for the time periods such as 10 minutes, hourly, daily, and weekly. 1-minute data is the real-time traffic data which is stored for 1-minute granularity. Let's see each of these in detail. In NetFlow Analyzer, raw data by default is turned off. Raw data contains each and every detail such as application, source, destination, port and protocol, along with other fields such as TCP flag, number of flows, and the next hop information. You can set raw data to be stored for maximum of 30 days. When you turn on raw data, by default, it saves for 1 day. So the above storage settings can be increased for the higher flow rate and for more duration with the help of additional database as HighPerf reporting engine. Also, you can generate various troubleshooting reports with the help of forensics and drill down to any conversation detail which has happened for the particular time. In aggregated data, by default, it is turned on in NetFlow Analyzer. It stores the top 100 records for the conversation by default. You can also change the number of records to be stored up to maximum of 300. It retains the data forever, is stored for longer duration, and it can be used for capacity planning and long-term reporting. The other storage option is available for 1-minute data. You can retain your 1-minute data up to 3 months by default. You can also select multiple options to retain your 1-minute data. Let's see in UI how you can change your storage settings. In the settings, when I click on NetFlow, you can view your storage settings. The raw data is turned on. Here you can select the time period for which you want to save your raw data. Once this is done, I can select devices for which I want to enable my raw data. I can also set an alert when the disk space is violated, and you can also delete your old raw data information if the disk space goes below any particular percentage. To turn on raw data, turn this off to redirect your last 2 hours for the raw data and save the details. The next is the aggregated data. For aggregated data, you can select the number of records you want for the top 100 or the top 10 records you wish to see in your aggregated data. You can also select the time period for which you can save aggregated data. By default, it is set forever. The next is the 1-minute data, which is set for 3 months. This means you can see your 1-minute traffic details up to 3 months. You also can retain the data for your NBAR, CBQS, and autonomous system. So, when to activate raw data in your network? If you want to go for more granular visibility in your network and you want to see the detailed information for each and every conversation in the network, you can go for raw data. It also helps in better root cause analysis to know what is the exact cause of an issue. It also helps to improve your accuracy with the help of each and every conversation details which has been saved, and you can drill deep into your forensic reports to know what has happened in the network. Raw data also provides real-time alerts in your network and get you notified in real time. To know more on storage pattern, you can visit this blog and get the details. So, when do you need a HighPerf reporting engine database in NetFlow Analyzer? If you want to store and increase the storage period limit for raw data Or if you have high flow rate, you can go for high perf reporting engine. With the high perf reporting engine, you can handle huge volume of traffic data for your raw storage, and you can increase the accuracy of your traffic analysis. You can also increase the storage period up to 1 year with the help of high perf reporting engine. So here is the data storage summary for all the data storage we have seen. We will see which reporting uses the following data storage. The first is 1 minute traffic data can be seen in your interface traffic graph for any 24-hour period. The next is you can generate capacity planning reports and compare reports with the help of your 1 minute traffic data. With the help of raw data, you can generate forensic reports. You can also see the last 2 hours of your interface snapshot graph with the help of raw data. You can drill down to the traffic details such as application flow, MediaNet, multicast, AVC, and ASA flow with the help of raw data. The next is aggregated data. You can see all the widgets in your inventory such as applications, conversations, and QoS. You can also see all the interfaces and graphs more than 24 hours. You can drill down to the reports such as search and custom reports, consolidated reports, schedule reports, and report profile, which we will cover in the next slides. The next question is how to identify the potential issues in your network and monitor them proactively. Suppose there is a small issue such as there is a sudden increase in your network traffic utilization or any of your applications are slow, which can cause a harm to your network and it will create bandwidth bottleneck if it is neglected. So it is possible to stay ahead of such issues with the help of NetFlow Analyzer dashboards. Dashboard gives you the complete visibility of your traffic details to know what is happening in your network and provide the traffic usage for the applications, conversations, protocols, and QoS with the help of top-end reports. This will provide you the insights of the top contributors in your network and their usage details. Dashboards will help you know if the traffic is overconsumed by any of the applications or an user. So with dashboard, you can track top-end details in your traffic summary. You can also drill down to the most consumed traffic and know if it is a suspicious traffic or a useful traffic. Let's see how you can create new dashboards and view your NOC screen with the help of UI. Here, if I go to a dashboard, I can see traffic summary as the default dashboard in NetFlow Analyzer. Here, heat map is the widget where you can check the interfaces which are added in NetFlow Analyzer. It will provide you the details such as the interface which is active, inactive, and down. The next is the device summary, which will categorize the traffic based on the flows and provide you the number of interfaces in each of the devices. In dashboard, you can also see the top-end applications, QoS, protocol, conversations in the network for the last hour. You can also change the time period for any particular widget and set the time window based on your monitoring need. You can also change the name of any widget or change the top-end records to 5 or 10 and also provide the device resource type as device, interface, IP group, or an interface group. Once this is done, you can save the traffic for the ingress or egress and save the report. You can also select an option for resolve DNS to provide DNS name for source and destination. In this way, you can edit multiple widgets and add the widget in your dashboards for which you want to monitor periodically. You also have an option to create a new dashboard based on your requirement where you can provide the dashboard name and select next. We have default NFA widgets for which you can create the dashboard, such as I want to see the top applications in my network and the protocol used. I can create the dashboard and see the traffic for each of the widgets. We have created different widgets based on your monitoring requirement. Suppose you want to monitor the different WAN interfaces in your network, you can create a dashboard based on it. You can see what are the traffic consumption of each of the interface and see if there is an alarm which is generated for any of the interface in your WAN. You can also see the top applications and the source and destination for all the interfaces in your WAN. You can also create department-based dashboard in your network. You can see the speed for each of the departments in your network and the utilization. You can also see department-wise traffic usage in your network. So these are the multiple ways in which you can create dashboard to enhance the visibility of your monitoring. You also have an option to create knock screen in your network. Let's create a new knock screen, and you have an option to auto refresh at set interval. So if I select 30 seconds, the knock screen will refresh automatically after every 30 seconds. Here I can add my multiple dashboards which I have created, which I want to see for this in this knock screen. Once the knock screen is created, I can select on the knock screen option and view the graph. Here you can see all the knock screen based on your critical network. So these are the various options you can do in your dashboard. So let's move on to the presentation. So the next topic is proactive alerting. We have seen in the last session that how to set threshold based alerts in your network. For situations such as high utilization or any link congestion or the increase in traffic volume or any of your link speed is slow, you can get alerted and see if there is any threshold violation for any of this particular criteria. You can view all these details in your NetFlow Analyzer alarm page and also can get a pop-up for each of the alarms generated. So once any of the threshold is violated, it generates an event in NetFlow Analyzer at the time of violation. It also gets updated as an alarm once the event is generated. Every time the set threshold is violated, the event gets updated. In Alarms tab, you can view the details of all the alarms generated in your network. You can also see the details such as the message of the alarm, the source, and the time at which the alarm is generated. You can also see and filter based on the severity of the alarm. There are three severities available in NetFlow Analyzer. The one is critical, the second is trouble, and third is attention. Suppose you set an alert in your network when your main WAN link utilization exceeds 50% as an attention, and if it exceeds more than 80% as critical. An alarm is raised when the WAN link utilization went beyond 50%. Once you go to the alarm page, let's see what are the possible options available in your alarm. Go to the alarms and see all these alarms which have been generated. Let me drill down to any particular alarm and see what are the options available here. So these are the events which have been generated for this particular alarm, where I can see what time the event was generated. The next option is I can see the traffic graph for this particular time period when the alert was generated. I can also see the applications which have been associated for this traffic graph. I can also drill down to the interface or the device which has generated this alarm. You can also create a new note and provide acknowledgement for this particular alarm once it is cleared. So in this way, you can set multi-level severities from attention to critical to get notified proactively and act on them. So the possible options we have seen are: you can drill down to a faulty router from the alarm page. You can create a note of the exact time when the issue has occurred. You can also check the traffics and the application graph from the alarm page. You can add notes and discuss with your team. The next question is how to find the root cause of an issue and prevent it from future occurrence. We have easy reporting options available in NetFlow Analyzer with which you can track down to any source of the problem and see what has caused this particular issue. The various reporting options available in NetFlow Analyzer are custom reports, compare reports, consolidated reports, IP group reports, protocol reports, and the forensic reports. These reports are available for different criteria and you can drill down to any specific details with the help of reports. Let's see with the help of UI how you can generate each of the reports. The first is the search report. If you want to search a particular traffic detail such as a source address or an application or port or DHCP for all the interfaces in the entire network, you can use search report. Suppose I want to search a particular application such as for this selected time period, I can generate this report. This will show me the source and destination level conversations which has happened for this particular application in the last 6 hours. I can also resolve DNS to get the DNS name for the source and destination. The next report you can generate with the help of search is you can provide a source address such as and generate the report for this traffic used by this particular source in the last 1 hour. Here you can get what are the source the destination which are accessed by this particular source in the last 1 hour. The next is custom search report. If you want to define the same report for a particular interface or a device, you can use custom search report. Suppose I want to generate a report for this interface and provide the application as YouTube and want to generate for the last 24 hours, I can see what are the source and destination which has been accessed for this YouTube application. The next reporting option available in NetFlow Analyzer is compare report. With the help of compare report, you can generate the reports for multiple devices for the same time period to know how much traffic is consumed by all the devices in your network at this particular time. The next reporting option is you can generate the same device at multiple time period to know how much traffic is used by the particular device at different time intervals. So let me show you one example on how you can see this. I can select the data points and the report options such as speed, volume, packet and utilization. So I want to compare the multiple devices based on utilization. I can also select the device as interface, IP groups or the interface group. You have an option to show the report by top 5 or the top 10 utilization and speed. Once this is generated, you can view the different devices in your network at the same time period. This will help you to know how much traffic is utilized by each of your devices at time you have selected in this report. The next reporting option is consolidated report. This will give you the complete usage of a particular interface for which you want a consolidated report. This will provide you the top occurs by speed, volume and conversation for the selected time period. Here I can select also my WLC device if I have in my network. Once I select the interface and the top records I want to see by speed, I can generate report. This will provide me the top information for the selected interface in the last 1 hour. It will also show the source and the destination and the conversation level details in the consolidated report. I can also generate a PDF or email this report in my mail. The next report available is IP group. In IP group, you can see the traffic by speed, volume and utilization and see the traffic consumed by all the IPs in your network for the last 1 hour. So these are the IP groups in your network and you can know what is the traffic it is consuming in the last 1 hour. You can also generate protocol distribution report to see the traffic consumed by all the protocol in your network. So these are the protocols and it will show you how much traffic is consumed by each of the protocols. So these are the various reporting options available in NetFlow Analyzer and we have discussed in detail about what each and every report is capable of. The next is you also have an option in NetFlow Analyzer to create report profiles. Report profiles will save your reports for your future usage. For report profiles, you need to create a filter for which you want to see the reports. Once you add a filter, such as if you want to see a particular application in your report profile or the source, destination, or the DHCP value, you can select them and add a filter. I have created a filter for the protocols I want to see and generate reports for. Once I click on report profile, I can add a new profile and provide the name and generate the reports which I want to see. Once this is done, I can select the filter for which I want to add this report and select next. This will take to the option where you can select the devices and the interface for which you want to see the particular report and the time period. Once this is done, you can save this report and view it anytime in future. You also have an option for scheduling any report you have generated with the help of add a schedule. Here I want to generate a daily report for my all the interfaces and report me about the application report. Here you can schedule the report on daily, weekly or monthly basis. Since I want a daily report at the particular time period for the last 24 hours, I can select this and I can also mail this report to my email address. In this way, you can add multiple schedules and generate the reports automatically in NetFlow Analyzer. So we have seen about report profiles and how you can save your reports with the help of report profile. So what are the benefits of reporting? The first is you can create criteria-based reports to identify if there is a bandwidth shortage or a traffic spike in your network. This will help you to drill deeper with the help of criteria you can provide in the reports. The next is you can schedule the reports and automate them at any particular time you want to generate. The next benefit is you can save reports and export them to PDF and CSV files and share it with your teammates or your management. You can also generate historical reports and diagnose any bandwidth capacity problem with the help of historical reports available in reporting option. You can also review and optimize your bandwidth usage with the help of compare reports available in NetFlow Analyzer. The next report available in NetFlow Analyzer is forensics. With the help of forensics, if you are alerted about any issue, you can drill down to the root cause of the spike and check the complete conversation which has happened in the network. Let's see in UI how you can use forensics in NetFlow Analyzer. In forensics, you can drill down to any particular device and provide the source address or the criteria which are available here. You can provide the criteria to know how much traffic is consumed by this particular interface and also the time for which you want to generate this report. Once this is done, you can see the traffic usage for the interface along with the application traffic usage for YouTube and drill down to source, destination and conversation. Here you can see how many unique destinations which has made by a particular source and drill down to each and every conversation which has happened in the network. You can see this DHCP, TCP flag and conversation. So the benefits of forensics are you can get more granular visibility with each and every conversation in your network. You can drill down to identify which user, application or protocol is consuming most of the bandwidth at the specific time. You can also troubleshoot accurately with the help of multiple criteria and filter out the traffic you want to see in forensics. You can also review your historical data and find out why a particular spike has generated with the help of forensics. So let's take an example of real life use case which was experienced by one of our customer to explain more about reporting. So there was a sudden spike in the network and which led to the network congestion and all the critical applications in the network were running slow. So this is a typical network where there are two WAN links in the network. One is acting as primary and the other one is acting as standby. In the emergency, the second one will be load shared with the main WAN link. The two links are connected to two different ISPs in the network. So all the LAN networks is connected to the edge router. There was a sudden spike in the network where the main WAN link is congested, due to which all the applications which were accessed by the LAN networks was getting delayed. So the network admins who takes care of the management of the network was pressurized to solve this issue as soon as possible. So let's see in detail how you can do it with the help of NetFlow Analyzer and how you can solve this issue and face this scenario with the help of NetFlow Analyzer. This issue has affected all the users connected to the network. The biggest challenge was how to quickly resolve this issue. So what are the steps you can take to resolve this issue? The first is to know which part of the network is experiencing congestion in the network. Once this is done, you have to identify what has caused this congestion, whether it is an application or an user or an external attack. Once this is done, you can troubleshoot the issue based on the requirement which is needed in the scenario and bring back the network. Let's see each of the steps in detail. The first step is to determine which part of the network was experiencing congestion. To know these details, you need to answer some of the questions such as where is the congestion and is it notified to me? Once I know the congestion, we need to see which applications were contributing to the most of the traffic in this congestion. What were the top source, destination and conversation which has involved in this congestion and what is contributing to the maximum for this congestion. You also need to know what is the QoS precedence which was utilized during this particular time. In NetFlow Analyzer, we have dashboard with which you can immediately see the details what has been affected. Let's see in UI how you can see this detail. Once I drill down to dashboard, I can see what are the WAN interfaces in my network. Here I can see which interface is getting congested. Once I know the interface which is getting congestion, I can also see if I have been notified for this. I can see a notification for this issue in the network. I can also see there is a sudden traffic spike in my network due to which the interface is getting congested. The next question is what are the applications which are consuming most of the traffic, and I can see the majority of the traffic is consumed by the HTTP application. Next is to see what are the source and destination which are using this traffic. I can see that there are some source and destination and I want to drill down. I can click on the interface and drill down to the interface snapshot page. Once I can see the utilization which is exceeded the average limit, I can see the traffic details for the last 6 hours and the applications which are consuming the traffic. Here I can see the maximum of the traffic is consumed by HTTP application. For this, I want to drill down to the conversation level details and see who is consuming most of the traffic. Here I can see some of the source which are unknown to me is consuming most of the traffic. I can also create a forensic report and know in detail about the conversation. Here I can see that some of the source are making high unique destination which is unusual in the network. So these are some of the source which are making high unique destinations in the network. Once I drilled down to this source, I came to know that the issue was with the patch management upgrade which has happened for all the Windows servers in the network during the business hours. Since the patch management server was crashed, all the patch management upgrade for the Windows servers was happening with the third-party link. The next is how to troubleshoot and fix this issue. There are 4 possibilities in this scenario with which you can resolve the issue. First is to block the IPs which are consuming most of the traffic using the access control list. The next is to reduce the traffic bandwidth usage with the help of shaping policies available. The next is you can also load share the traffic with different devices and links available in the network and continue with the upgrade, or you can also reschedule the action during the non-business hours. Let's see in detail how you can troubleshoot your network for each of the scenarios. If you want to block the IPs with the help of ACL, you can filter out the excess router traffic by blocking any particular IP or IP network with the help of ACL. You can allow the certain packets in ACL and deny the rest of them. Let's see in UI how you can create ACL for a particular device. Once I go to ACL, I can add an ACL and provide the ACL number and provide the criteria. If I want to deny particular IPs, I can provide the IPs which was consuming most of the traffic for the server upgrade and save the ACL. Once I have added the ACL, I can apply them for the particular interface which is consuming most of the traffic and apply to in or out for the particular interface. The next is to reduce the traffic bandwidth utilization with the traffic shaping options available in NetFlow Analyzer. You can shape the interface traffic and prioritize your critical applications. We will see how you can apply traffic shaping in NetFlow Analyzer. You can create a service policy for the selected device. You need to add criteria with the help of class map for access group, class map, DHCP or protocol or precedence. Once you provide a class map and save it, you can go to add policy and create a new policy. So you can provide the policy name and add the class map which you have added recently. Once this is done, I can provide different criteria such as compression, drop, police, priority, or shape the traffic. Once I select it, I can shape the traffic for a particular percentage and save it. Once this is done, I can save the policy and apply it for the particular device. This is the way you can shape your interface traffic and reduce the bandwidth utilization for the particular WAN link. You can also monitor the policy changes in your CBQS configuration graphs. Once you apply service policy or ACL, you can also view the changes in the backup summary where you can see the config change trend. For this, you need to first enable the change detection and see at what time the configuration has been changed. The next option is you can load share the traffic or reschedule it at a different time period. Here you can use compare reports to see at what time you can restart this schedule option. In compare reports, you have an option to select multiple devices for the same time period. With this, you can know which device you can load share this traffic. Here I can see which are the interfaces which are consuming less traffic, and I can load share this upgrade to the different interfaces and continue with the upgrade. I can also see the non-business hours with the compare report and see at what time I can restart the upgrade. Once you have resolved the issue with the help of ACL or service policy, you can also generate the consolidated report and view all the traffic stats. If you want to know if your bandwidth is slowly reaching the capacity, you can use capacity planning reports. With this, you can generate short-term reports and long-term reports to view your network usage trend. In capacity planning report, you can select a particular interface for which you want to see the capacity planning report. You can also select the time period such as I want to see for the last quarter and generate report. This will provide me the report 1 minute traffic graph for the particular interface and the other details such as standard deviation to know how much the traffic is deviated and how much is the average usage of the interface. It will also provide me details such as the application growth to know how much there is increase in the application usage between the different time periods. So the capacity planning will help me to get the information such as application growth, average usage, and any usage deviation. The next is how to bill your customers with the help of billing. You can measure the bandwidth usage to cross check whether your ISP is billing correctly, or you can generate bills for your customers or clients in your ISP. For this, we have a billing option where you can create different bills and view the bills and generate it. The next is NetFlow Analyzer also has an iPhone app where you can view the information of your traffic details in your mobile application. Here you can see the alarms and the traffic details and also the dashboard of for the top and details. So we have come to the conclusion part of today's presentation. Today's presentation, we have seen how you can proactively monitor your traffic and see if there are any issues in your network. We have also seen how you can troubleshoot your bandwidth issues in real time and troubleshoot it faster before the outage has occurred. If you need more help, you can visit our YouTube channel or our help doc to know more in detail about NetFlow Analyzer. You can also contact us through forums or the email address or the mentioned phone number. Next, move on to the next session of Q&A. I hand it over to Arvind Lenin, who is the support head of NetFlow Analyzer.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Arvind Lenin, and I'm going to handle the Q&A session for NetFlow Analyzer, second part of training today. All right. So my name is Arvind Lenin, and I am working as a technical support lead for the NetFlow Analyzer product from last 5 years. And I handle all the training sessions and customer trainings, on-site trainings with the customers, and I assist them to use the product and to solve their issues with the application. So let's directly get into the questions that we have received today over the session. I will try to answer them all. In case if I have missed any of the questions, we will send you out an email with all the FAQs that we have received over the session. So let's go to the first question. How much hard drive disk space will I need to manage the number of interfaces for that you are going to monitor in NetFlow Analyzer? So that is the question. Right. So actually in NetFlow Analyzer, when we talk about the disk space utilization, we do not count it based on number of interfaces that you're going to monitor in the application. It is only based on the number of flows that you're going to receive on to the application. So based on the number of flows, we calculate the disk space utilization either for raw and aggregated, and based on that you have to have your HDD disk space configured on your server where the application is installed. Let's move on to the second question. Okay, so configured the device to export flows, but there is no IP or application information. Right, this is one of the regular questions or regular query that we receive from some of our customers, and here we have to talk about different scenarios. So different scenarios in the case, it is based on the database that you're using as well. So NetFlow Analyzer support two kinds of database. The default one is Postgres, and you can use the external database like MS SQL. Right? In case of the MS SQL database, you have to make sure that the prerequisites that we have specified regarding the MS SQL database has to be done correctly. Only then you will be able to see the data being populated for the interfaces that are managed. For example, MS SQL, we use the BCP files, the bulk copy files to write the data into the database. So those files has to be there in the installation in the directed location, and only then the data will get dumped. And some scenarios we receive the same kind of issues where customer installed the application in Linux machines. Sometimes in Linux machines, you have to make sure that you have provided enough permissions to the drive as well as to the kernel of the Linux so that we can read and write the data into the database. So most of the time the permissions will be given to the installation and in the Linux machine, but there will be no enough permission in the kernel to actually give permission to the dynamically created text files that we create for each and every packets or flows that we receive, and then we dump into the database. So you have to make sure that you have to specify the kernel level permission for the op manager or the server where the NetFlow Analyzer is installed, so that the data dump can happen with the product. Okay, next question is, can I configure ACL with standard and extended option from the UI? So yes, we can do that. I can show that in the UI. So you can do it from the inventory tab. So you have to make sure that the device is added, and you have to make sure that the device is added in NetFlow Analyzer and in Network Configuration Manager. And what we do here is we fetch this information. We get the list of access lists that is already been configured. So let me show you that. So you can have to go into the inventory devices, and when you click on the ACL, we'll populate the existing ACLs that is being configured already in the device. You can either edit, you can delete them from the UI itself if you do not want some of the access list that has been configured in the UI. And also you can add, we have the add option for the standard and extended. So you can see here the type option that we have provided. The default one is standard, and you can use the extended option and specify your criteria based on the protocol and the ACL name. So this option is available for the devices that is being monitored in both NCM add-on as well as in NetFlow Analyzer, and you can push them and apply them to the devices. All right, so let's go to the fourth question here. Can I get alert based on the user or link utilization? Yes, this can be achieved using the alert profile feature that we have, and you can specify the criteria based on an user IP or a link IP, and you can get alerts based on the IP that you want to monitor and want the alert from. Let me show that in the UI. So when you go to settings and when you create an alert under NetFlow alert profile, so we have an option to specify the criteria. Like for example, let me show you. So when you go to next, right, let me just go back here once. I'll just select interfaces, go to next. Then I have option to specify the IP address, based the criteria based on an IP address, port and protocol, DHCP, and application. You can select them all, and you can specify your criteria if you have want and selected IP or for a particular network or a link based on an alert based on a particular IP or a link network address. Else you can use just the IP address if you want to only based on a link IP or an user IP and want to get alert from. So you can specify the criteria over here, and you can add the profile. Once we see the threshold getting violated, you will be able to see the alert being generated. So like you can just put it as and just say next, and here you can specify your criteria based on either utilization, volume, speed, or number of packets. And so it will be like the number of percentage for number of times in number of minutes. If that threshold is violated for that particular IP address that you have specified, you will get an alert immediately. So let's go to the fifth question that we have received today. How can I create customized reports in NetFlow Analyzer UI? So this has been already covered by Piyushri in the training session. So let me show you once again. So here we can create customized report, and we can create a profile for them so that you can access them later as well. So under reports, we have all the report categories and report options that we have in the application available. So the report profile is the one which can allow you to create your customized reports. For this, you have to create your filters first. So based on which criteria you need the alert from, and based on this filter, we will generate the report. So when you click on add, so we have the option to specify include and exclude option for any of your criteria. And you can also provide criteria based on application source, destination, DSCP, and protocol. You can create multiple filters and associate it to to a same report profile, or you can create a single filter with multiple criterias based on the options that is available, and you can associate it to an report profile and generate and create a profile, and you can schedule the profile as well to get the report generated and emailed to your email address on a scheduled time. So you have to just provide your criteria here, and you have to make sure that the criteria, this report will get only generated if the criteria is matched, which is there on the filter. And also when you go to add a profile, so we have many reporting options. These are the list of reporting options that is available with the NetFlow Analyzer that you can select from, and you can do it for the based on the devices. Select the filters that you want to associate to a profile, and you can create a profile and generate the reports. So this is regarding the report profile that we have. So created an IP group in NetFlow Analyzer, but there is no data or wrong data showing for that IP group. Okay, so here one of the important thing that we have to look here is the IP group that you're creating in the NetFlow Analyzer application gets the information from the interfaces that are sending flows. So you have to make sure that the interfaces that you have configured to send flows are getting the proper statistics first. If the statistics on the interface is not correctly showing, that means there might be some configuration issue that you have to look on to the device first, so that we can get the correct statistics for the interface, and only then from the IP group we can for the IP group that you have created, we can get and populate the correct information. Also, there is no data available. So this is another scenario where there is no data available for a created IP group. So here you have to make sure that the created IP group is associated to the correct interface of the device from which it gets the bandwidth utilization. So like for example, when you create an IP group under NetFlow um, mappings, group settings and IP groups. So you have like let's take an example here. So this is an IP group being created. So here you can see this IP group is created with a particular IP address, and it is been selected for all interfaces, right? So we have to make sure that the IPs you are going to specify in the IP group is associated with the correct interface of the correct interface from which that particular IP is going to utilize the bandwidth. Okay, so to get the correct information populated for that particular IP group, else you will not get the correct information, as well as in case if you associate it to an interface which do not have that IP conversation in it, you will not get any information being populated for that IP group. So you have to make sure in the IP group creation that the IP group is created with a particular criteria, has to be associated with the correct interface of the device that is utilizing from where that particular criteria is utilizing the bandwidth from, and then you can save it and you can get the correct information for all your IP groups. All right, so let's talk about question number 7. Do I need to delete or re-add the device if I replace the existing one? So this is some of the one of the question that we receive regularly, like where when there is a scenario like when you replace your existing device with a different device and want to monitor that device into the NetFlow Analyzer. So there are two criteria or two cases that we can say. Either if you are replacing a device which is going to have the same IP address as the older device, or going to have a different IP address than the older device. So if it is going to have the same IP address on the different device that you were monitoring previously in the application, in that case once you have configured the flow on that particular device, you will see that device being already added as the old interface with the old IP address and the interfaces of the old device, and you will see some data being showing up for that old for that device as well. But you might see like the interfaces will not get an updated names for it, or might show the wrong information in the UI, because it is mapped to the old information that we have received previously. So in that case, and simple SNMP update for that device will resolve the issue for you. You do not have to delete or re-add the device here. Also, in case if the replacement of the device is having a new IP address, that case you don't have to worry about it. It will a new device will get added into the UI once we receive the flow from that particular IP or particular device, and you can do an SNMP update and monitor it separately and unmanage the other device which you are not going to monitor from the license management tab. So this is the license management tab. Here you can select a particular device and you can just unmanage it if you're not going to monitor, and monitor the one that you want to monitor here. All right. So the question number 8, can we monitor the aggregated interfaces in NetFlow Analyzer? Yeah, so this is one of the nice questions that we have received today. So there are many questions where customer uses aggregated interfaces or SVI interfaces, where which is a virtual interface bundled with different separate physical interfaces or virtual interfaces, right? Yes, you can monitor. You can monitor this aggregated interfaces or the virtual interfaces which creates an aggregation. You can monitor them using our interface group option. For example, you can, once you configure your device to export flows, the device will send the information of the each interfaces separately, right? So you will have the separate interface information but not the aggregated interface information in the UI. So here you can create an interface group and associate create an interface group and provide the aggregated interface name to that interface group and monitor the statistics of the interface group. So let me show you here. So under the group settings, you have an option called interface group. So once you go here, you can select the device from which you want to create the interface group first, and you can select any number of interfaces to a group, provide a name and group speed to it, and you will be able to add this group and you can monitor that under the inventory tab itself. So under inventory, you will see those interface groups under the groups tab under IP groups, and you will see, like, we show you the traffic utilization and details for the interface group, same as the interface snapshot or a particular single interface that we show. So it will be an aggregated information being shown and for the particular interface group that you have created. So okay, so the ninth question that we have received today, I have a network switch that do not support flow export. Can I monitor them, monitor those switches or devices in NetFlow Analyzer? Yes, that can be done, but you have to use, but not directly. You have to use and free tools like nprobe or fprobe to convert the mirrored traffic. You can mirror the traffic to this third-party application, which can convert the mirrored traffic into the NetFlow readable format, and you can monitor them in the UI. So that is one of the options that you can do to monitor the network devices which do not support flow export, right? Is it possible to schedule traffic reports to be generated in a speed, volume, or utilization? Yes, this can be done. We have a schedule settings option. So when you go to schedule option, you can schedule all kinds of reports, any kinds of report in NetFlow Analyzer to daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And you have and schedule settings. Like when you go to schedule tab, you have option called schedule settings, where you can specify these settings for the schedule reports that is going to be generated. So in the graph option, you can select the traffic graphs to be generated either based on the utilization, speed, or volume. You can also select if you want the report to be generated with a DNS result for all the IP addresses. You can select that as well. You can select the mail attachment option as either as a zip or a PDF format. You can do it for QS as well. So like based on DSCP, whether you need the QS information for the QS reports based on DSCP or TOS, like that. So these are the schedule option which is available under schedule settings that you can set based on your requirement. All right, so this is I think the last question that we have received today. Is a drill down option available for the information from the dashboard widgets? Yes, with the latest version of NetFlow Analyzer, with the version that we are using, we have this option available. So when you go to dashboard, let's take any for an example. Yeah, So let's take for an example, if you want to drill down to drill down to particular application. So let's say ICMP underscore APP. So when you just double click on it, we will take you for a generic group created or generic widget created for IP address or conversation for an IP or for a particular device or an interface. You can just double click on that particular widget and you will be taken over to the information that you want to see. We will show you the interfaces where this particular application is being utilized, and you can just look into the table view and you can drill down to the interface itself to get the conversation details for that particular IP address. So this option is definitely available with the latest version. So this is all about all the questions that we have received today, and hope the today's session was useful for you and informative for you. And also this is the end of the NetFlow Analyzer training session for the second training session that we conducted today. If you wish to know more about the product, you can get in touch with us, or you can even opt for the product demo with our team. And if you have any technical queries that you need to be answered, you can anytime you can get in touch with us on netflowanalyzer-support at manageengine.com. Also, next we are going to conduct the free training sessions for our other Manage Engine products like Network Configuration Manager, Firewall Analyzer, and Op Manager. Thank you and have a nice day.